G'day guys, Fitcho here and welcome back to my F1 2018 Fitcho Career. We're here for episode number 4 and the second round of the European Formula 3 Championship, and it is race number 1 of the weekend here at Paul Ricard. Now, Paul Ricard doesn't actually feature on the real-life Euro F3 calendar. Instead, they race at Pau in France. It's a classic F3 race, a challenging street circuit, but obviously we can't do that here on F1 2018, but it feels appropriate to have a race in France. So here we are at Paul Ricard. It's a fun track to drive, usually provides good racing, so I think it's a win-win situation, considering we can't race at Pau. So we're here at France, like I just did say, and just flashing back quickly to qualifying, Ralph Aron has continued his qualifying form from Silverstone, taking his 4th pole position from 4 races so far, but is no longer a PREMA front row lockout. Instead, it's an Estonian front row lockout, with Jüri Vips qualifying in 2nd place. Mick Schumacher and Robert Schwartzman start out of 3rd and 4th place, with Dan Ticktum alongside me on the 3rd row of the grid, myself there in 6th place. Then it's Palau and Armstrong, Ahmed and Guan Yu Zhou rounding out the top 10, with the 2 Carlins of Jehan Daruvla and Sasha Fenestraz both missing out on the top 10 yet again. Of course, they showed great form in the first 2 races at Silverstone, dropped off in race number 3, and they haven't seemed to have found their pace coming here to Paul Ricard. Now, just quickly, before we do get into the race, as normal, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on, and if you do go on to enjoy this video, make sure you do leave it a like. Without further ado, let's get racing. Here we go, we're on the grid at Paul Ricard, the lights are coming on, and we are ready to race. And it's lights out, and away we go. Race number 1 of the weekend. It's been a fantastic start compared to Dan Ticktum off the line. The motor park is going backwards, and we're going to move across to the left, cover him off, down into turn number 1. So I think that's Palau diving to our outside through turn number 1, but he can't hold that into turn number 2, and indeed that was Palau, as now we're looking at the back of Rob Schwartzman. It looks like Jüri Vips is going backwards off the start. He is now dropped in behind Mick Schumacher, and now he's fighting with Rob Schwartzman into the hairpin. Jüri has the inside line, and Rob just has to concede through there, as now we're about to come out onto the Mistral Straight, as Ralph Aron has held onto the lead of this race, trying to get in the slipstream of our PREMA teammate, as we have the high-tech Bullfrog of Palau hunting us down. Here goes Rob up the inside of Jüri Vips as we head down to the chicane. What can we do here to try and capitalize on these 2 fighting side by side through the chicane between the PREMA and the motor park? We're going to jump into the slipstream of Jüri, who seems to have come off 2nd best. We're going to get up his inside as we go up to the very fast right-hander, flat out normally in these cars, but I just have to check up a little bit. With Rob going a bit slow in front of us, we should be able to get up the inside of the motor park into this long right-hander, getting very close to the back of our PREMA teammate, but we get that move done. It is now a PREMA 1, 2, 3, 4 here in France, and now we're going to try to find our way past Rob Schwartzman and get ourselves up onto the podium. Oh, it's starting to get very close at the front of the field between Ralph Aron and Mick Schumacher. They were so close to contact, and now they're going side by side as we head down to the flat-out right-hander at the end of the Mistral Straight. Has Schumacher just done that around the outside for the lead of the race? An incredible move there from the son of Michael Schumacher to move himself into the lead of race number 1 here in France. And now we're still hunting down Rob Schwartzman, but then it is Ralph Aron just in front of him. So Jeff's just come over the radio to tell us that Ralph Aron has some kind of mechanical issue in this race, and Schwartzman is trying to find his way past the PREMA teammate. Can I get up his inside down into the hairpin? This is very aggressive, but if he has an issue, I need to get past him to make sure I don't lose touch with Mick Schumacher and Rob Schwartzman there, and we do make that move. Is now out onto the Mistral Straight. DRS is enabled. You can see Ralph is really holding up Jüri Vips back there behind us on this straight, as Vips now finds his way past, as that's actually stretched this field ever so slightly in the opening phase of this race, but is still a PREMA lockout of the podium if it were to finish as it is. We've really closed up to Schwartzman through turns 3, 4, and 5, is now through this tricky right-hander back onto the power. We flick left out onto the Mistral Straight, into the slipstream of our PREMA teammate, open that DRS flap, and this should be a really simple move on Rob Schwartzman, and we get that done, and we move ourselves up into 2nd place, and now we can start chasing down race leader Mick Schumacher. Right, round the hairpin, end of lap number 4, and Jeff has told me to come into the pit lane, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing, and I completely forgot what the entrance to this pit lane was like, and oh, that was a awkward moment, but we just got it stopped in time for the limiter. I didn't think I was going to. I locked up, but I didn't see any penalty flash up, so I think we're in the clear with that one. We get a nice clean stop. Not many other cars have come into the lane. That looks like Yuri Vips has pitted just behind us, the Motorpark team, as well as Armstrong and Ralph Ron, so it looks like half the PREMA guys. Oh shit. Oh, okay, that... Oh, I'm under threat from Yuri Vips. I didn't realize the limiter came off so early here at Paul Ricard in the lane still. And that's a bit awkward, a bit of a mistake there for myself, a bit of a faux pas. And now we have Yuri Vips right up behind us, as I think we're trying to go for a bit of an undercut, and that's just thrown that strategy out the window just a tad. Hopefully we can turn these tires on and not get in a fight with Yuri for at least a couple laps until everyone else has made their pit stops, so we can make the most of this fresh rubber. But he's right in behind us, out onto the Mistral straight. We're going to have to go up into overtake to try and defend. He's got DRS, and there's just nothing we're going to be able to do to defend from that motor park. Heading down the Mistral straight into the chicane, we are on the outside. There's not much I can really do. I'm just going to have to concede here and try to preserve my front wing a little bit as we go a little bit sideways on the curb. And now we're just going to have to follow that motor park and hope Yuri has the pace. Well, he does have pace, let's be honest. He's starting on the front row of the grid, but hopefully he has pace, switching these tires on nice and quickly. Right, it looks like most of the field are now into the pit lane, including our Rob Schwartzman, of course, our teammate, as we head down the pit straight. Where are these guys going to pop back out into the field? I think Schwartzman has come out well in front of us. That mistake on the pit exit has really hurt us. That is Rob, we can see, just up the road ahead of Yuri, and we're currently in 9th place. We do have, still looks like 6 cars not stopping in this race just yet, as I've got my gears slightly wrong into turn number 3, but we will just ignore that and carry on. Safety car has been deployed. Inam Ahmed is out of this race, not too sure what has happened there, and this is really going to change things up. Schumacher had bolted away a little bit at the front, and Rob was getting away from me and Yuri as I was just lining him up for a move. I'd really gained up, ready to go for a move down this DRS straight, but that is not going to be happening. And this is going to bunch us all up and set us for, I'm going to guess, probably a 4-lap dash right at the end. This is going to be fascinating. Of course, not only does this catch me up to the 3... Ooh, okay, check me up a little bit more, why don't you, Yuri? Not only does this catch me up to the 3 in front of us, this also allows Dan Ticktum to catch up behind us, as well as Marcus Armstrong and the 2 Carlins of Deruvla and Fenestraz, who have got themselves up into 7th and 8th place. Not doing too badly, considering where they did start, and this is going to be a very interesting end to race number 1 here at Paul Ricard. It's lap number 8 of 13 right now. Not too sure how long this safety car is going to stay out, but I'm guessing we're going to have about a 4-lap dash to the end where we're all nice and bunched up. So the safety car is coming in this lap, and it is indeed going to be a 4-lap dash to the end. We're sitting in 4th place. Our 2 teammates, Schumacher and Schwartzman, up in 1st and 2nd. Then we're in a motor park sandwich with Yuri Vips in front of us, Dan Ticktum behind us, and then it is Marcus Armstrong as we are getting ready to go back to racing. 4 laps to the flag. What are we going to be able to do from a 4th place as we are going at absolute snail's pace right now, just waiting for Mick Schumacher to drop the hammer and go for it. Any second now, surely Mick's going to go for it. We're coming into the final couple of corners. He's going to have to hit it very, very soon. He's leaving this jump very, very late, and here we go into the final couple of corners, and we are going to go back to green flag racing onto the power out of the final corner. A little bit of wheel spin, not the restart that we wanted, but I feel like we have jumped a little bit away from Ticktum as we head down towards turn number 1, but we're not right on the back of Yuri Vips like I wanted us to be, and we lock up into turn number 1. We go wide with the cold tires, and this puts us vulnerable to Dan Ticktum, the Red Bull Jr. coming up our inside as we head down towards turn number 3. Can we hang this around his outside, hold it onto the track? Well, there's a little bit of contact trying to muscle him out, but he's still coming up our inside into the hairpin side by side with Ticktum, and I think we're just going to have to concede to the motor park, as there's nothing we can do through that long right-hander, and we lose a placement now into the slipstream of the Briton. What can we do? Up his inside with a nice toe overtake on the ERS with, looks like Marcus Armstrong is trying to follow us through, and onto the brakes down into the chicane. Someone is diving to our outside, and that looks like one of the Carlins was getting involved, possibly Jehan Deruvla, as he is going side by side with Armstrong, and Ticktum's coming back at us. I don't even know what's happening in behind us. Ticktum looking up our inside into the fast right-hander at the end of the Mistral straight. He's trying to make this move stick. Can he do it? We're going to leave him a little bit of space into this long turn number 12 double apex, but we can get across to the apex and try to close that door, and we do hold on to that position for now, but this is not done. I have lost touch with the top 3 massively. 3 seconds back off them already, and I've already hit the deployment limit to the end of this lap as we've drifted wide through the penultimate corner. Is he going to try something into the hairpin? No, he is not. He's not going to be able to do anything there, and you can see just how much time I've lost on this lap getting involved in a fight with these guys. We have 3 laps remaining here at Paul Ricard, and I have not much to defend with. I don't have any tow from in front of us, and we're going to be a sitting duck down the Mistral straight. Out onto the Mistral straight, Tictum is going to be in our slipstream. No DRS just yet for the motor park, but you can see just how much he is gaining as we come down to the chicane. Is he going to launch it up our inside? Yes, he is. We're going to try to go right around his outside. We're still side by side with the Red Bull Junior coming out of the chicane. Still dead even side by side with the motor park, and we're going to have to concede here, and we actually have, that is Jehan Deruvela trying to come along our outsiders into the flat out right-hander. We do go side by side with the Carlin. We're going to have the inside line down into this right-hander. Ever so careful with that motor park right in front of us. We don't want to be damaging our wing this late in the race, and now we just need to save a little bit of, going a little bit too low in the gears, the back end kicking out from us, and we just need to try to save a bit of battery so we can attack on the last couple of laps. We don't want to lose too many places while saving that battery, as now we're about to start the second last lap of this race. There's still Mick Schumacher leading from Robert Schwartzman and Yuri Vips. And then it is this big battle pack that we are in over the last, not podium place, 4th place, I should say, with Dan Tictum currently occupying that position. We've dropped a little bit back from Dan, but we're going to gain through these next couple of corners, and we are going to stay within DRS as the yellow flags are out further back in the pack. Not too sure what that is for. It looks like Sophia Flörsch is out of this race, but we're not really fussed about that right now unless it causes a safety car or a virtual safety car, but I don't think it will. Is now out onto the Mistral straight. We are going to go. We're going to get DRS on Dan Tictum. We can go up into the ERS mode as we're in the slipstream of that motor park. Gaining. Are we going to be gaining enough? I think we are. We're going to try to send it up his inside. Not quite close enough. I had to have a go there at the end of the straight. We're going to try to hang on to the back of that motor park to the best of our ability. We just want to actually save that battery up just a little bit, but it's hard to do with Deruvela right in there behind us. So we can launch one big attack at Dan Tictum on that final lap to try and take that 4th place away from the Red Bull Junior. Trying to just stay close to him through this technical end to the lap. Trying to get the car into the apex. A bit unsettled there by the curb. That's not going to help us. And we still have that Carlin breathing down our neck into the last couple of corners. We do go a bit of a lock-up there. That's really not going to help us. We're feeling the pressure on these last couple of laps, making a few little mistakes. As now we open the DRS flap. We're going to have to go up a little bit in the ERS mode just to defend from the Carlin, but I think we are safe for now as down into turn number 1 hard on the brakes. A bit of a lock-up. We're not too fussed about that right now through turn number 2. Trying to gain up to the back of Dan Tictum, heading down to turn number 3 hard on the brakes, get into the apex. Nice line through there, and we're starting to really close up to that motor park into the hairpin. And then it is this next crucial right-hander. We're going to go up to overtake mode in the ERS. We lost a little bit of drive out there. I was a bit focused with the ERS, but that's going to help us as well. Rain in 10 to 15 minutes, but this is the last lap of the race. DRS flap open, overtake on the ERS, and we are going to get the run up the inside of the Red Bull Junior into the chicane, trying to squeeze him out, which we do so successfully, and we take that 4th place away from Dan Tictum. He's dropped a little bit of a ways back. I think we could be safe from here to the end of the race. We're going to have to wait and find out. He does look a little bit too far back as off the Mistral straight we go, and that's probably the last major overtaking opportunity down into this right-hander, and I think we have just about done it here right at the end of the race. Not the safety car restart that we wanted at all. I was so focused on attacking the top 3 for a podium place, but I left myself vulnerable to Dan Tictum behind us. I just got caught out a little bit with the cold tires. Probably didn't do enough tire warming under the safety car, but we have managed to hold on to this 4th place as Mick Schumacher has won his first race of the season, Robert Schwartzman in 2nd, Yuri Vips in 3rd, and then I cross the line to finish in a very hard fought 4th place there in the end. Not too displeased with that result, but just a bit unlucky there on the safety car restart, just not getting into the right position, not getting the car into the right condition to go and full attack there, unfortunately. I really did mess that race up a little bit for myself, and the safety car definitely didn't help in that equation either. We're right on the back of Yuri Vips when it was called. We're about to come out onto the Mistral Straight with DRS. He had nothing to defend with. Would have been an easy move on the motor park up into a podium position, and then when we were probably just outside DRS from Rob Schwartzman, if we'd been able to push a little bit, might have been able to catch him and get that 2nd place, but in the end the safety car came out and we just weren't ready on the restart. We were ready for the jump and whatnot, but the car wasn't in the ideal condition. We made a mistake down into turn number 1, locking up a little bit, and that just cost us time. That gave Dan Ticktum a run on us, and once we started battling with Ticktum, our hope of latching onto that top 3 was absolutely gone, but in the end we did manage to hold on to in that big battle pack to get that 4th place just ahead of Dan Ticktum. But nonetheless, Mick Schumacher has won his first race of the season with Robert Schwartzman joining him on the podium and Yuri Vips. Of course, myself there in 4th place with Dan Ticktum there in 5th. Both Carlins making up a fair few places. Both started outside the points in 11th and 12th, and they finished in 6th and 7th. A good result there with Jehan Daruvula finishing just ahead of Sasha Fenestra, as they were getting involved in our battle with Dan Ticktum. Daruvula coming to our outside at one stage, heading down into the really fast flat out right hand corner at the end of the straight when we were in behind Dan Ticktum. Marcus Armstrong finished in 8th place with Alex Palau in 9th. Then Jonathan Aberdeen actually rounds out the points with Guan Yu Zhou and Ralph Aron both missing out on points. I believe Aron did have a few issues in that race. We did get notified by Jeff that he was suffering from car issues early on in the race. Really unfortunate there for the pole sitter. And of course, we also had Enam Ahmed not finish the race. He caused the safety car, and Sophia Flörsch also retired after the safety car restart. So after Ralph Aron's misfortune in today's race with Mechanical Gremlins, I actually jump into the lead of the championship with 53 points, 2 points more than Yuri Vips, who's in 2nd place, and then it is Ralph Aron in 3rd, only 6 points back off myself. Robert Schwartzman jumps up into 4th place with Mick Schumacher now up into 5th place, of course, winning today's race, getting a huge haul of points, 25 of course, and he's now equal on points with Jehan Daruvula over that 5th position. Marcus Armstrong is in 7th place with Enam Ahmed, Dan Ticktum, and Sasha Fenestraz rounding out the top 10. And that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you do leave a like. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.